Hello, this is Akiko Sudano at StampinInTheMeadows.com in Downingtown, Pennsylvania, and I'm back to doing my Sunday afternoon videos. Thank you for joining me. Let me see. Let me check things here on my computer and make sure I can see my comments as they go by. Let's see, here we go. Not yet. You're going to have to forgive me because it's been a while, and so I'm just a little bit rusty with this, and I'm sure that, oh, here we go. There's a button. Okay. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. I think. I'm not sure. I don't see my comments yet. Oh my goodness. This is just strange. Okay, so anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Hello, Debbie from North Carolina. Thanks for joining me. And today I am, it's been a while, so I'm going to keep it pretty simple. And I'm using the Amazing Silhouettes bundle. Hello, Karen. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm happy to be back. I'm using the Amazing Silhouettes bundle, and it's a cling stamp bundle, and it has these images that look like they're like an embossed resist kind of image. So the areas that you see in dark here are the actual parts that get stamped, while the main image stays the color of your background. In my case, I used white cardstock, so it stays white. And then it comes bundled, and this is the exciting thing about it, it comes bundled with these word dies. And these word dies are not just regular word dies, but they're layered so that you've got on my card for today, I used the thanks, and you've got two dies where you've got the skinny die, which cuts the word, and then you can adhere it to a background die so that you've got the contrast. So that's one of the things that I really like about this stamp set, because I love these layered word dies. And you've got the words for thanks, and you are amazing. So those are all of those are very nice sentiments to put on cards for sending to people. Thank you, Karen, for sending to people. So let me go ahead and get started with my card. So for the outside, I stamped the tree on basic white, and then I also embossed it, and then I adhered it to the card base, and then on the inside I just have a simple panel with some of the leaves from that match the designer series paper. And I'll show you that, and then another piece of designer series paper on the bottom to trim the bottom out. So let me start with the designer series paper. I started my sample card. I have a top folding card, and then but for today I'm going to make this a side folding card, because you can use both of those. Now, one of the things with this is the Friendly Hello designer series paper, and Friendly Hello is the celebration special item that has the stamp set with the coordinating designer series paper, and that's where the stamp is for the inside comes from. And what I did with this is this tree is such a tall image, so I cut my designer series paper for the front at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So I cut the designer series paper just an 1/8 of an inch smaller than the regular cards. Oh, thank you so much, Debbie. Than the regular the card base, and I don't usually do that. I usually cut it about 1/4 of an inch, but for this one, I wanted to have enough room because this is such a tall image, so that I could have some wiggle room and have enough room on the side and on the top and bottom here, where you could see the designer series paper. And then after I did that, I said to myself, "Oh, this is perfect because the margins on the card base and on the mat, they're the same. So it really kind of complements it very, very well." And then the other thing too is I did not want to have the designer series paper go edge to edge on the card base. So I wanted to have a little bit of a frame, and I think that kind of gives it a nice boundary on the thing, kind of gives it a good definition. So the first thing that I did was I adhered the designer series paper to the card base and give it a good press. There we go. Okay, so that's simple and done. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I have a basic white panel, and I'm going to ink up the tree stamp, the tree silhouette stamp, and I'm using Granny Apple Green. And one of the reasons that I chose this this paper and this was because of the Granny Apple Green. And it's just so cold and dreary that I feel like you need something that's bright and cheery like the Granny Apple Green to make things cheerful in these cold winter days. And I've got this panel, and I'm just hopefully, yeah, oh, it's a little far over. There we go. Let's see how this came out. I may have to turn this over because like I said, it's been a while, and it's been a while. Oh, that came out pretty good. I was worried about getting it centered this way, but that looks pretty good. Okay, and then the next thing that I did was I wanted to give this stamped image a little texture, and I decided to emboss it with the painted texture embossing folder. And this is the one that looks like it's got, full of the palette knife applied paint and stuff on it. So I just put that on there, and it just steps it up. And I think there's a lot of different neutral embossing folders, like the Tasteful Texture embossing folder would also work well for this. I'll be back. I'm going to emboss this. My machine is on the table over here, and you can see, but it just gives it a little bit of something extra. I guess I chose not to emboss the background designer series paper here, but I guess you could do that also if you wanted to, and do that. See, isn't that, can you see that texture on the back side of that paper? It's just so pretty, I think. And then it just gives it a little bit of something more, so that it just makes it a little bit, steps it up just a little bit. And then I'm going to adhere this directly to the Granny Apple Green mat. And I'm using liquid glue to do this. And this is one of the things that I'm really, really rusty with, is that using the liquid glue, and especially with the die cut words, it's I'm just using way too much, and I'm having a hard time figuring out how to control it again. But we'll practice so that I can get better with that. It's just been a long time. I had, before I left for Christmas, I had made a bunch of cards, so I have really not been doing very much card making since then. So, okay, so that's adhered to the panel. But before we put this on, what we're going to do is we're going to put together our word dies. Now these, I die cut these, and I cut the sample card. I did it the other way with green background, and this time I'm using the white background and switching the colors a bit. And one of the things that I'm having trouble with is making my tiny dots. But luckily, this is oops, see that's all gushed out. Luckily, this is it's thick enough so that it's forgiving like that. I just have to be careful with that. But okay, so be very, very careful here. And one of the other, there's one of the things I was thinking about was using the adhesive sheets. That's another good option. Oops, see, I'm gushing it out still. Need to work on that technique. And another thought is the fine tip glue pen, if you've got that. Otherwise, you just do just put little dots. I think the best thing is using little dots of the multi-purpose liquid glue. There we go. Oops, that's too big. But it just do the best, and it'll be fine, because this is a fairly thick word. So you've got so the liquid glue does do pretty well, I think. If you don't have the finer tip adhesives. So I'll take this on, and then this is pretty forgiving in terms of placing the detail word on top of the thick word. Hopefully I'm in the camera here, trying to get it as centered as possible on the thing here, the green on the white. There we go. Yeah, and it look at that, it comes out pretty well. And then you can just kind of press it down, and oops, this one I think I want to, and then like here, I think I need to move it over a little bit so that I can get that, and then that puts the S back in place. So that's nice and centered on your die cuts are nice and centered with each other. This is really, I was really impressed at how easy this was to do, to make those so that it looks nice. And I think that one of the things, if you've got these dies, to consider using like a glitter paper or a foil paper, and then maybe doing, oops, I don't want to put it on the S, or putting it on a black background, because I think that would be really nice. The white on the white embossed letters on the back, black labels. That is such a nice look, and I think you can approximate that with these word dies like that. And of course this is thicker, so my poor skills at applying my liquid glue it's more forgiving with that. So I want to put it, oh, I didn't want to put it on the S. I forgot that. I keep forgetting that. But I wanted to put it on from the T to the K, and then you put the word on the bottom of my panel. And this is just wide enough so that I can have the thanks going across the tree trunk, and with the, like that. So between the T and the K. That's why I didn't want to put anything on the S, but I just kept forgetting. Okay, and so that's on, but since you've got the texture from the embossed panel, you want to make sure that you have enough adhesive there to hold everything down. Okay, so now what I wanted to do is I wanted to put the word on there so that I could make sure that I positioned this panel on the card base appropriately with the right amount of spacing. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this panel on with dimensionals. And I have a freshly cut set of my half dimensionals here. And I will put this on the background, the back of my panel, and then let's see. Yep, there we go. Put it on, and then the fun part, of course, of watching me pull up all of the backing of the dimensionals. But then I also want to put a little bit of a skinny piece on. I'm going to just cut this, yeah, I think I'm going to just cut this long piece off of this end piece right here. I just want to put a little bit on the back of the S here so that, well, no, this is too fat. No, that's not going to be too fat. I think that's going to be all right. So I'm going to just put this on the back of this S here too. So that's why I didn't want to put the liquid glue there. So I could put a little dimensional there. Okay, and then pull off the covers. This is not going to stick. There we go. Pull off the covers, and then I can place this on my card front. And then I think my card front is just about done. It's a simple card. That's about all I could handle at this point for a video after being away for so long. But we'll get back into the groove of things here. So how are you enjoying the new catalog? I think it's just great. I'm finding so many things that are just so pretty and so different in there. All right, so this is here, and so I wanted to make sure that I had, for my T that's sticking out and my S that's sticking out, I have enough room here, and I'm going to keep it straight, so I'm going to use my lines to help me line it up straight, and I'll move it over just a little bit there. So it's basically over on the left side. I think I want to move it up a little bit here. And with the skinnier, oops, that's not good. With the skinnier border, I have room so that I can have the bottom edge be just a little bit wider. I think that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Is that, yeah, there we go. Just be a little bit wider, and then that's basically it for my card front. And then it needs a little bit of something, and I didn't put any ribbons on it, but I did put some of these. These are the Elegant Faceted gems, and these are the white ones, and they have just a little bit of sparkle, and so it gives me just a little bit of bling to make it special. I'll put 3 of these on, and they have 2 different sizes, so I'll put 2 little ones and then a big one, and I'll put this one up by the tree, in the tree here, or maybe on this side so that it's not quite like that. There we go. So I have 3 of those, and then that's basically my finished card front. Now let's do the inside of the card. Let's take a basic white panel, and since we've got these leaves on here, we're going to go ahead and stamp the leaves in the corner here, and we'll do this in instead of white leaves on Granny Apple Green, we'll do Granny Apple Green leaves on white. So I'll ink it up and then stamp it once. And then since I've got so many different shades, I'm going to go ahead and stamp that off again. And then I'm going to stamp this off twice and then stamp in this corner. And then I'm going to just give it a little bit more of the full strength stamp right here, like this. Just a little bit more. So you've got a little bit of green in the corner, and that picks up on the leaves in the Designer Series paper. And finish the front with just adhering a piece of Designer Series paper to the bottom here. Now, let me do this. add my adhesive. And then I think for this one, I'm going to go ahead and put it on flush with the bottom edge. So you can do it however you like. First I thought, well, maybe this is just a little bit thin. And then I always turn it around to see that I've got it placed evenly also on the back here. And then just trim off, line up my scissor with the edge of the paper and trim it right off, the excess. Oh, good. And then I can take this and use my Stampin' seal to adhere this, the inside panel to the inside of the card. And then one more thing. Okay, so this is the top, and I think I like this one with this. My sample card has got, I think, it's a little bit too dense, and I think I like this without quite so many leaves in there. And line this up. Now this one is a 1/4 of an inch smaller. The inside panel is a 1/4 of an inch smaller, so that you've got 1/8 of an inch borders pretty much around the edge there. And so that's the inside of my card, and that's my card. Okay, so one more thing before we finish, because I don't usually do my envelopes, but this is such a simple design that it seemed like I could just easily just stamp this pretty tree on the side of the envelope, and it would be good. I think with a bigger stamped image, it's better to put the stamp on the ground, and then put your ink pad on top of it like that, and then we'll stamp the side of the envelope. Stamp the tree on the side of the envelope, kind of partial stamping, and see how this comes out. And hopefully, yeah, see, just a little bit of something there makes it kind of nice. So, and you could also take a Designer Series paper and put it on the back of the envelope flap if you also wanted. So there's my card today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll be back next week, and everybody have a good week, and stay warm if you're in the Northeast. Thank you. Bye-bye.